Hi, I'm Drea from the #Moms Journal, and in this series, I'm going to be giving book summaries about self-development books for mothers. So there's a lot of great parenting books out there, but on our channel, we really want to focus on mothers because we're going through great growth spurts and developmental changes ourselves. So these will be books about, for, by mothers that focus on the mother more than the child. So we're starting with Mommy Burnout by Sheryl Ziegler. I'm going to say who I think the book might be good for and maybe who it wouldn't be good for, because I think we want to support everyone, and different books are going to appeal to different people. So I'm going to give some ideas of who I think maybe would really enjoy this book and who might, have some challenges with it. So for Mommy Burnout by Sheryl Ziegler, Dr. Sheryl Ziegler, she is a doctor of psychology, and she's also a clinical director of a treatment center. And in this book, she talks about how her career has focused mostly on child development. And what she realized during child psychology is that so often she had to interact with the parents and learn more about the parents and serve the parents in order to serve the children. So she really started kind of transitioning to having more and more moms and parents come in for personal sessions. And then she struggled with infertility and she became a mother herself. And so, of course, that really launched a different understanding for her about what it means to be a mother, about what modern mothers are facing, the challenges that they're facing. And so she wrote this book for her clients and her friends and her colleagues about this term called Mommy Burnout. So she does distinguish Mommy Burnout as different from postpartum depression or anxiety, because depression and anxiety often are a combination, from my understanding, of a chemical imbalance and also environmental issues. So they could be helped with taking medication as well as doing some different routine things. But she's defining Mommy Burnout as the overwhelm that mommies experience that makes them irritable, that makes them get sick more often, that makes them feel stressed out and anxious. And these are all things that come from environmental factors. So Mommy Burnout is something that can be treated by changing your environment, and that's how she distinguishes it from something like depression or anxiety, which might need more of a clinical or medical approach, as well as changing your habits. So in each chapter, she actually lets you sit in the counseling room with her. So in each chapter, she is describing a mom or two who came in with a particular issue and describing some of the challenges that they had and some of the things that they discussed in their sessions, and a lot of times how it developed over time. Maybe some symptoms or some issues that they had got worse over time. And then she is giving you some background into why this might be happening, some of the suggestions that she gave, and at the end she's giving you some practical ideas of things that you can do if you're dealing with this. And the book, as well as the audiobook, comes with workshop ideas, like a worksheet where you can practice some tips that she's giving you and write down your answers to questions and things like that. So I listened to the audiobook because I'm a busy mom and I prefer to do audiobooks, and it did come with the PDF as well. So in each chapter she covers something different. So she covers overtending, like overly being with your children. She covers isolation. So moms often, for the first couple years at least, will isolate themselves from their friend groups or their former work colleagues and things like that. She talks about connecting with your support network. She talks about illness and substance abuse, and she talks about banning busy. So this idea of being really busy and perfectionism and things like that. So those are some of the topics that she explains in the book, and really give some background as to how these affect us as mothers and what are some things that we can do about it. And of course, a lot of it is like mentally shifting. What are our ideas of perfections? Why do we think our kids have to be perfect, or they have to have activities all the time, or that a teenager can't remember to put on their own clothes or get ready for a practice? We feel like we have to do those things, or we have to pack things for them. So it really talks about, making a mental shift for a lot of these things and putting yourself out there more and scheduling and really like reeling back. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. So I think this book would be really good for someone who is starting counseling or hasn't started counseling yet, maybe can't afford to start counseling, because we have to be realistic. Counseling is wonderful, but everyone at different stage of their life can't afford counseling. So if you've been thinking about that you need counseling, or you just started, or you can't afford it, I think this would be a good book for you, because as I said, she's sitting in the room with you, and this patient, obviously she's going to change the names and stuff like that, but she's giving you an idea of what people talk about when they come in, and she's giving you an introduction into that. And so you're also going to feel a sense of empathy to hear, what other moms are experiencing, similar things to you, and maybe some things that you're like, oh wow, this is something that I didn't really think of, or so that would be really good for you as an introduction. And also, because it is a lot of storytelling, I think it's good for people who are at that more beginner stage. It's also going to be good for you probably if you are in a male-female, a heterosexual relationship, because she talks a lot about husband and wife, and she talks about the kind of norms of these roles. So if you're in a relationship where you don't consider yourself husband and wife, or partnered in a monogamous relationship, or you don't identify with those terms, or you don't identify with the gender norms, or you're in a gay LGBTQ relationship, then maybe this book isn't going to speak to you directly, because she does talk a lot about male-female relationships and the roles that often husbands and wives have. Even if you're a single mom, she does talk about that as well, but she does mostly talk about relationships where there is a male and a female. What else? I think if you are looking for something that is written more professionally, this book is definitely going to give you more of a professional feel. It has a little bit of humor in it, but it's really more about storytelling and about psychology. And so I think that the book would be good for you if these are the things that you're looking for in a self-development book. So tell me what book you think that I should read next, and give you a summary on, and tell me if this was helpful for you. And I hope that if you do think Mommy Burnout will be helpful for you, that you will pick it up at your local bookstore, or get it as an audio book and listen to it when you can, while you're busy doing other things, even though actually she says to ban busy. So while you're relaxing and walking around or waiting around and doing other things, you can listen to this book, or you can pick it up from a local bookstore. And I'll see you next time.